Hi guys, welcome to the channel. This video is really an introduction, an overture if you will, to the rest of what this channel will be doing. So my main reason for making this is that I am an inveterate procrastinator. It's very easy for me to get bogged down in the weeds. I start preparing like a training course or something like that. I get very enthusiastic about it and then I put it to one side and I've got nobody holding me accountable, so it doesn't get published, it doesn't get done, and I'm getting kind of fed up with it. So I thought, how do I motivate myself to actually produce these things? And the best way was turn on the camera and start. So what subjects are going to be covered on this channel? Well, primarily I'm really concerned with the overall development, management and operation of IT systems, both small and large, but we'll be concentrating really on server-based material. We'll do some web development stuff and how it gets put onto servers and so on. But in order to keep it more realistic, we're going to actually develop a real system, not a sort of Mickey Mouse pretend, oh, here's a web server kind of thing. We're going to actually develop a product. And we're going to do that over the course of weeks, months, years. And in doing that, we're actually going to face real, actual practical problems, because as we develop the system, real problems will occur. And the idea is that we will then go around and we will solve those problems in the way you would in a normal professional environment. Now, this is quite a different way of structuring material, I know, but we will still have formal tutorials, if you like. We'll take some simple material and more complex material and we'll put them together into training courses, as well as what I would call more sort of interactive seminar type material, where we will take a problem with the product as it stands and we will look at how we solve it. This will all become clearer as we start going through the process of building this product. Okay, so really, I guess the first ambition is to be wide. Okay, we're going to cover a lot of wide range of topics. So we'll talk about operating systems and how they work and what they do. We'll talk about development languages and why you might use one over another. We'll talk about the types of languages. We'll talk about, security. So we'll talk about firewalls, intrusion detection systems. We'll talk about the difference between servers, how you go about load balancing web services, all these kind of issues that we face day to day in an IT environment. Now, some of you will be saying, well, yeah, I'm only interested in the web development. Okay, fine. But I really am addressing people who want to have a career with a very broad skill set, where you've got lots of interesting problems to solve. Now, this is the kind of career I had. I kind of semi-retired a couple of years ago, but until then, my career was a kind of a troubleshooter of IT systems management, but on a more technical base. So I did a lot of things like configuration management, release management, build management, and things like that. And I just want to pass some of that. I just want to pass some of that knowledge on. So this seems to me like a good way of doing it, and it keeps it interesting for me. Okay, so this will be partly driven by the needs of developing this product and partly driven by you guys. So I'm hoping that you guys will give me feedback on what's interesting to you, where you need more information. So you might see a video and think, well, I could do with some more information about that, or answering particular questions. Or you may think I overlooked something or missed something. Okay, truth of the matter is that hopefully there'll be many more of you than there are of me. The fact of the matter is, some of you will be really good web developers where I suck. Some of you will be really good IT administrators and where I've got weaknesses, and you'll be able to correct and challenge me, and indeed help each other. So a kind of learning community, if you will. Okay, so what's my philosophy of training? What is this channel? What's it going to be like? Okay, well, I'm a big fan of what I call applied laziness. In other words, I really hate doing things more often than I have to. And to that end, I tend to automate as much as I can. Okay, always have done. You know, if I had to do a job more than twice, okay, I'm going to try and automate it and make my life easier. Okay, so we'll be doing a lot of automation, so a lot of scripts, a lot of little programs, a lot of gluing stuff together with small scripts and small programs. Okay, this is kind of the meat and potatoes of the technical side of IT system management. Okay. The other thing we're going to be doing a lot of is learning by doing. Okay, we'll do some theory, but mainly we're going to be actually physically doing something. Okay, we're going to be writing bits of the system. Okay, so it won't be a huge amount of theory. We'll do the theory to back up what we're actually doing. Okay, so we'll do something practical, and the theory part will be backing that up, explaining why it works the way it works. The other thing I'm going to be doing is there'll be no, Wizard of Oz behind the curtain stuff. Okay, there won't be any magic. I'll explain everything. Okay, and if I don't explain something well, challenge me, and I'll go through and explain it. This will be at various levels. So a lot of what is going to go on this channel will be free. Okay, some I will offer for a small subscription. If you want to pay more subscription, then you'll get more access to material and more access to my time in doing things like answering questions or addressing your particular problems. And I will also be creating paid courses in the background, and those will be, I'm hoping what I'm going to be able to work out is how to offer some of you guys extended access, if you like, early access to the material in courses, so that partly so you can give me feedback, but mainly so that you guys get a little bit extra for your subscriptions or whatever. Okay, so I haven't worked out how that's going to work yet, but that's the ambition. Okay, so what do I need from you guys? The main thing is to, as we Brits say, hold my feet to the fire. Okay, I want you to make me accountable for what I do. Okay, so if I say to you something like I'm going to do a video a week, okay, you guys need to hold me responsible for doing that. I also need you guys to keep asking me questions. Okay, the more questions you ask, the easier it is for me to determine where my course material is weak. Okay, where it needs to have more detail. I need you to give me feedback. Tell me when I'm doing things right. Tell me when I'm doing things wrong. Okay. And I need your patience. Okay. I'm making this up as I go along. I've got no idea what I'm doing. Okay. This is very much kind of a project for me. Yeah, it's free form, but hopefully, over the coming weeks, the style will settle down and we'll end up with something useful for you guys, okay, and fun for me to do. Okay, now that's deliberate. I just want to keep it fresh, keep it interesting, okay? I don't want to get too bogged down in detail. Okay, so I said earlier that I wanted to have a project as the main structure element for how these courses all come together and deciding what material is going to be covered. So we're going to build a full, real IT system. Okay, so most of it I'm going to try and make so you can run it on a regular laptop. But some of it will inevitably demand that we run stuff in the cloud. But when we get there, we'll discuss how you can do that in a cost-effective way. We're going to start completely from scratch. Okay, I'm going to make no assumptions at all about the kind of hardware you've got or where this project's going. Okay, we're going to literally start with a blank sheet of paper, and I mean literally a blank sheet of paper. Okay, and we will build things up from there. We're going to use a kind of agile process, I guess, of adding features as we go along, and in doing that, we will expand what we need to do. So, for example, we might decide when we put things up in the cloud, we're going to have to talk about how to securely log into servers. We'll talk about security. We'll talk about cryptography. We'll talk about how to secure servers, perimeter security, internal security, setting up firewalls. There's just so many things we can talk about. But we'll do that as we're building out the product. Okay. And in doing that, we're going to come across some real problems. Okay, how do you securely exchange keys? How do you keep secrets within your system? How do you remotely administer systems? All of these kind of things. They're genuine problems that we come across every day. Okay. Now, the end product will undoubtedly involve some servers. It'll involve remote users. It'll involve being probably web-based. I mean, after all, we're all going on the web. We'll be talking about mobile. We'll talk about adaptive development. We'll talk about adaptive user interfaces. Okay. And more than anything, everything we produce as a consequence of this, okay, in terms of the actual product, so the actual thing we're building, will be open sourced and available to everybody. Okay, all of the infrastructure stuff will all be available. Okay, so we're hoping to produce something which is big enough to raise interesting problems, but small enough to be manageable. So you guys can jump in at any time, pick up a course, and still be able to actually set things up for yourself and try stuff out for yourself and follow along with the tutorials. So, big reveal. What's the product going to be? Okay, I think that the best thing for us to develop is an e-learning platform. Now, no doubt many of you are familiar with things like Udemy and Skillshare and various other of these platforms. Now, they're all commercial platforms. I want to develop something that can be used by anybody like me, providing courses, okay, to provide nicely structured and presented course material in a way that you can give away for free or you can charge for. We want to provide something that can be full courses with Q&A sessions and progress tracking for the students and so on. Maybe some sort of coursework interactions, whatever. Okay, and just all of the added value of a proper large-scale course management system, or as light as a few tutorial videos. And from a user's point of view, they should be able to get onto the system and find material, so there'll be a way of searching around and so on. And here's the important point, okay? And here's what makes this different. We're going to make it a distributed system where there's no centralized control. Okay, one of the problems with things like Udemy and so on is you're very much at the mercy of this central corporate entity. Now, things like YouTube are great. It's great to put your videos up on, but it doesn't provide anything else in terms of courses and so on. Okay, so you can't do an interleaved Q&A, for example, video, then question and answer and so on, and have students' progress being tracked through the course and for students to see their progress and things like that. So there's an awful lot of stuff that is ancillary to just the straightforward video. Okay, so all of that, we want to put all of that into a system, and we'll discuss some of the problems of doing that. Problems of discovery and problems of how do tutors provide this, okay, and some of it might be providing centralized servers, but they should have the option to move between them. Okay, we'll talk about the details later, but that's what we're aiming for. Okay, so that will be the product that we're going to build. Okay, and like I said, we'll start with a blank sheet of paper and we will start designing it from scratch. Okay, well, that turned out to be a bit longer than I anticipated, but hopefully you've now got a flavour of what I intend to do with this channel, and now we will move forward and start talking about the product.